This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is August 11th, 2021. We're performing a wasteline and sewer line inspection through an 1.5 inch drain line or clean out line at the back right hand corner of the building. And we are at 1653 3rd Avenue, Los Angeles, California. Wiped off our camera lens, and this is the side of the building. This is the right hand side of the building, and this is the back of the building. And this is our 1.5 inch drain line clean out that goes right into a 3-inch ABS plastic wasteline clean out. So we're going to just put our camera right at the edge of it, and we're going to zero out our camera monitor to get a good accurate reading on footage if we need to mark anything. We're going to begin running through the 1.5 inch. Should go right through a combi into the 3-inch, and we're in. A little tight, but we're pushing through. We're in our 3-inch wasteline now. We're headed toward the front of the building. Making some turns, and now we transition right here under the building at 23 feet 1 inches to cast iron wasteline. Cast iron wasteline has some buildup and scaling in the area where we tied into it. Some of it looks fairly clean. I'm going to continue to push out toward the front of the building. See if we can get all the way out to the sewer line. We're going to pause for a moment. Okay, so we're going to continue pushing. Trying to get out to the sewer at the front of the building. Ultimately, we want to view the sewer line on the property and also the lateral in the street. Do have a little bit of root intrusion underneath the building in this joint at 55 feet 9 inches. Running toward the front of the building. We're trying to push out rather briskly, and we'll pull back a little slower and take a look at the line. Kind of hard to push out. I believe we might have transitioned already to vitreous clay. We're going to pause and locate this area real quick, see where we're at. Then when we pull back, we'll try and find the transition somewhere around 60-70 feet from the cast iron to the vitreous clay. So we're going to locate this area. Okay, we're going to resume our recording. We are in the driveway area now, and we kind of located it just to get a rough idea, and then we're going to pull back and try and locate an area that would be a good place for a mainline sewer clean out. So we're going to keep pushing. We're at 71 feet 2 inches now. That'd be 120. So we're going to keep pushing out. Now we're in vitreous clay. There's a joint, appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Another joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Another joint as well appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. From what we can see, there looks like might be a little tiny bit of root intrusion at about the 9 o'clock area, but we'll take a good look at that when we blow it up on the laptop. And that appears to be our 4-inch by 6-inch city lateral transition. So we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we're going to resume recording. This is our 4-inch to 6-inch city lateral transition right by the front gate in the driveway area on the right-hand side of the house. We're going to begin pushing out again. Attempt to get all the way out to the city sewer. There's a joint right there. Appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. What we can see, a little tiny bit of offset, but not terrible. A lot of debris in the line. We're going to have to push over this. We may lose a visual when we push through all this debris. But then we'll rinse our camera lens off in the city, and when we pull back, we can take a look at it at 90 feet. Well, we got past it. Joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. As does that joint. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We're going to pause for one moment. Okay, we're resuming recording. Continue to push out now. There's another joint. Appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. There's another joint. A lot of concrete overpour, concrete slag in the joint, but appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Still pushing out. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Continue to push out, making our turn, and that is the saddle area, and that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, and that is our city sewer tie-in connection. Right there. And we're going to pause for a moment. Yes.
So that's in sewer court?
Nice. Our biggest.
Okay,
Our
we're
biggest.
gonna
So it's full of
begin
shit?
pulling
Is that what you're
back.
saying?
We have our sewer cable in the key of G.
Right, yeah, no, it's clear.
So we're gonna begin pulling back.
And then,
Okay, here we go. We are at 112 feet 2 inches, and we are at the city sewer
oh, really?
saddle connection. This is the tie-in to the city sewer. You can see the water running below us.
Good dry ride.
Now we're pulling back. The saddle connection appears to be in fair and maintainable condition,
Yeah. Well, if they-
as does the
if
next
it's stuff that
joint.
we don't have to pay for, that's
Little
the same
concrete
thing, right?
slag in that joint.
I think Joyce is counting on like what?
That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time.
Initially, you're going to put 25.
That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We have some overpour on the slag, concrete slag, that they put the joints together with, but that will not cause an issue. Probably been there since the day they put it in. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well, as does that joint. Coming back, that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. A little bit of an offset, but nothing to worry about. That's very common. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. Making a little bit of a turn, and this is our transition right at the wrought iron fence on the right hand side of the property in the driveway area, where we transition from 6-inch vitreous clay lateral back to the 4-inch vitreous clay property sewer line. Now we're going to pull back. Joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. We're going to try and mark out an area where it'd be a good spot to put a mainline sewer clean out at the front of the property, just in case there was ever a stoppage, so you can get to it easily enough. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time, as does that joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well, as does that joint. Gonna pull back about another 5 feet, and then we'll try and locate this area. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time, as does that joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, as does that joint. We're going to pause right there and try and locate this area. Okay, we've resumed our recording. We're still pulling back, trying to locate an area to put a mainline sewer clean out. These joints appear to be in fair and maintainable condition. A little bit of root intrusion in that joint. Nothing terrible. Use a chemical called Root-X. Continuing to pull back. Gonna pause for a moment. Okay, we're resuming our recording. We've marked this area at 2 foot 4 inches deep in the driveway area on the right hand side of the house, behind the secondary gate, where we could excavate down, put in a fitting or 2 fittings if they wanted two-way cleanouts, and then roll them up toward the building. So we're going to continue pulling back. We have root intrusion there, as we said before, that isn't terrible. Chemical Root-X would take care of that. The majority of the We're in cast iron pipe again. The majority of the cast iron pipe is in pretty fair condition. I'm sorry, we're still in vitreous clay. We're going to transition back to cast iron, but we're in vitreous clay. Vitreous clay all looks pretty good. All the joints appear to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. A little bit of debris right there. Needs to be flushed out real well. Pulling back, making a turn. That joint has a minor offset, but not terrible. Going back under the building, that's where appears we transition to cast iron piping. Making a little bit of a turn. Now we transition to ABS plastic. We had the cast iron piping through the foundation wall. A lot of times people don't want to replace that because it's difficult. It would be better at some point in time to replace that section of cast iron. I'm going to continue to pull back. Pulling back toward our clean out. And now we're pulling back out of our 1.5 inch drain clean out. And that will conclude our video waistline and sewer line inspection.
Probably maybe put the clean on and maybe increase this one back here 3 inch all the way back.
The what?
Cut off that 1.5 inch there
Oh, I know.
and put it 3 all the way back. Give yourself a 3 inch all the way
I told
back.
him that. Yeah, I told him that.